Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. A while ago I made a video about an icon wrench set that I got. It was the Professional Flex Ratcheting Wrench set, 12-piece set. I got it for a song used, and I lost one of the wrenches. So I went to Harbor Freight to see if I could just buy one more wrench, basically to keep a complete set of metric icon wrenches. And was told no, they don't sell individual wrenches, to just bring in the whole set and they give me a new set. And I said, I don't have the whole set. Well, that was my mistake right there. You know, TMI. I'll get to that. So, jump to the future. A friend of mine gave me a Quinn Ratchet. It was very much in this kind of form, had a real thick handle, and the ratcheting mechanism wasn't working. He said, maybe you can have fun, make a video or something about it. And I thought, sure, I'll try that. Opened it up. There was a broken part inside it, so I couldn't fix it. And I thought, well, maybe I'll head back to Harbor Freight and see if anything's changed. I follow the comments. The video I did about this wrench set got a ton of comments. I ended up learning a lot about the Harbor Freight experience and what are some things I could do. I had replaced the missing wrench with a Tecton because I could order one. It was affordable, and I didn't have any choice from Harbor Freight at the moment. It sounds like in the future they will be available, and it sounds like right now they will be available. So, for what that's worth. Anyway, I couldn't get it, but I took that Quinn Ratchet in, and I showed it to the guy. He said, yeah, go get whatever you need. And I said, okay, that's it. Okay, I'll go walk back, found one. And I discovered that the Quinn Ratchet that I was given was only available in a kit. It was part of a set with sockets. And so it was like $29 for a whole socket set plus the ratchet. And so I picked up the next Quinn, Buy It, which was $25 just for the ratchet. It was a low profile. And I don't know where Quinn fits in all of this. I asked the guy there. He said, well, it's like above Pittsburgh, but maybe a little below Pittsburgh Pro, or maybe the same as Pittsburgh Pro, or maybe a little above Pittsburgh Pro. He didn't know. He just, you know, it's in the line somewhere. It's money. But anyway, I picked up the other one. It was a low profile head, which, whatever that's worth, it seems like everything says low profile up there. But I walked up to the front. They said, yeah, sure, that'll work. It's different, but we don't have that same one, so yeah, that's fine. And I said, you know, I also had this problem with a wrench set. And I was curious, you know, is there anything else I can do? And I did get a replacement wrench, but from a different company. And the guy looked at me and he said, do you have the wrench set? And I said, yeah, I actually brought it with me just in case. But it was actually in my Capri tool roll. So I brought it in and I said that I had this and I lost one. And I replaced it with this one. But I know those aren't available. Is there a chance in the future? And he said, just go get the replacement. And I said, well, I don't have the whole wrench set. And he looked at me like, literally, are you new here? And I should have said, yeah, I'm new here. He said, just go get the one. And I went back, and this was it. And it was sitting on the shelf, and it was $200. And I walked up. I already had the Quinn Ratchet up there. And he said, he looked at it and said, sure, yeah, we can exchange that. And I said, but it's got that Tecton wrench, you know, and it was like, I don't need to know this. Just give me 12 wrenches, 12 mostly icon wrenches, it sounded like, and I'll swap it, no problem. And I looked at that, that Quinn Ratchet, and I thought, I'm getting this now. Is there a chance I could upgrade to an icon ratchet? And he goes, yeah, sure. And he looked at it and he goes, that's worth $25 towards an icon. And I was thinking, my ratchet, the one that was given to me that was broken, came out of an entire set that only cost $29. And the only one they had to replace it was worth $25 off the shelf. So now I had basically got $25 credit I could apply towards an icon. So I went back and picked up this one. It was like 40 bucks. So I paid $15 and walked out with a new set of wrenches and a icon ratchet. And I thought, this is so reminiscent in some ways of how Craftsman was in the 70s and early 80s. I remember it clearly in the early 80s, where I could walk in with a broken ratchet and they'd say, go get another. They'd throw the broken one under the cash register in a box. Kids don't know what a cash register is, but it used to be this thing with a bunch of buttons. And anyway, they'd throw it under there and give me a new one. And if they didn't have the same one, I usually got an upgrade. I had exchanged screwdrivers, sockets, ratchets, even once a multimeter, which really kind of surprised me. And so I thought, well, great, they'll do it. And they were like, we want to keep you happy. Well, this whole thing here got me thinking about Snap-on and basically Icon. There is a battle raging. Yes, I'm new to the battle. Most of you already know about it. You've been providing me lots of information in the comments to my videos. I appreciate that. But what I'm looking at is the back seat. What's going on in the back seat? I think Snap-on there's basically quality and price takes a back seat. In this case, yes, they're expensive, but we have really high expectations for Snap-on. So price is in the back seat. You could say convenience is in the back seat because it's got some guy driving around. However, in reality, convenience could also be in the front seat if the Snap-on truck shows up at your business and that actually works for you. Harbor Freight, on the other hand, you could argue maybe quality in the back seat to convenience and to price. Maybe, because quality actually is, especially with the Icon stuff, seems quite good. And the convenience maybe here is forcing, could be quality into the back seat as well. Where if I can walk in with something and walk out with something else, without an argument, without a bunch of paperwork, without any real problems. And I'm sure your mileage varies across different Harbor Freights and different employees. I apparently got he had to be a good one because I can't imagine it being any better unless I walked in and he had just looked at me and said, shut up, Doc, just go get what you need. I don't need any backstory. In fact, I don't even want to know. I want plausible deniability. Just give me 12 wrenches, you get this. Give me a ratchet, you get credit towards that. And then walk out. And I thought, wow, when I would say, hey, did you see my video where I kind of made fun of you doing the Snap-on tools where I said they were Harbor Freight, but they were all Snap-on? Most people couldn't tell the difference. I would love to talk to them about that. Anyway, what I do find interesting is it really gave me those flashbacks to when I had a really good time exchanging a tool, that I used and broke or got somewhere, whatever. But is this sustainable? That's the question. Now, Craftsman, apparently it wasn't. Once you got, so deep, when had the world flooded, knee-deep in Craftsman tools, and those tools eventually were going to get swapped out whether they were broken or not. Could the company keep doing that? Now, Icon might be a really good tool from Harbor Freight, but I have found many times that Harbor Freight tools in the secondhand market are almost, I hate to say it, but almost worthless. I was given a Quinn Ratchet. I picked up a Pittsburgh Pro pry bar breaker bar for next to nothing. I picked up these wrenches for next to nothing. I got a torque wrench, an Icon big 1/2-inch drive torque wrench for literally like $25 or something like that, down from, whatever it was, $300. This light here, this Icon light that somebody scratched their name into, I got that for $5. Works great, charges your phone, super bright, $55 online. And literally the pawn shop I got it at said, yeah, we just try to keep that stuff out of here. It comes in when we buy toolboxes and stuff, but we're trying to get rid of Harbor Freight stuff as fast as possible. Wild. Even Icon stuff. I don't know. But anyway, is it sustainable? That's going to be the question. If it is, if they find some way where they can consistently keep the customer satisfied by providing those exchanges with brand new expensive tools, then the back seat is going to be full of other things like quality and maybe quality. maybe convenience if you have to go to the store, but it can easily overpower other companies. So if Snap-on isn't careful and somehow fixes that weird dealer middleman issue where you don't know what you're going to get, that's that unpredictability to me in the 21st century, or almost quarter of the way through the 21st century, is uncalled for. That's like straight out of 1930s. You know, when you get something really scrutinized, they make you the criminal, even though you paid a huge amount of money for the tool. If Harbor Freight is going to make me feel really good if I've got to swap something out, wow, you know, that's actually worth quite a bit, especially if I'm not pushing my tools super hard. There are lots of other issues: where they're made, their business model. I know some people get into the politics, whether they're stealing designs, you know, intellectual property, etc. But overall, if they can sustain that level, plus raise the quality, plus have the stuff on the shelf, it's going to be really hard for niche markets, including Snap-on and Cornwell and Mac, to compete. And if other companies like Husky, or other brands like Husky and Cobalt and Craftsman, I guess, are really, you know, not making people feel that. You know, I've had trouble with Klein warranty issues, you know, and it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So if they're after loyalty, I can see why people are doing that. I can see why they're headed, you know, to Harbor Freight. Yeah, you get what you pay for probably, but in reality, I think there is something going on that is going to challenge any other large tool company's model if they can sustain it. But that's the question. Because with that flexibility in loyalty, I like to say, you know, people are about as loyal to some companies, like, you know, maybe a tool company, as they are to an ambulance company. You know, you don't care. You need the tool. And if Harbor Freight raises that bar to an exchange a little bit higher, and enough people start to feel that, you're going to lose some of the loyalty. So my advice for all these tool companies is make it as seamless, as fast, as simple as possible. Don't make the customer feel like a criminal. Don't make the customer jump through a bunch of hoops. Is a photograph a hoop? Yeah, if you're an online company, it is a hoop, but it's probably okay. And then the last thing is, if it's not available, if you can't get the exact same tool, don't say, sorry, your lifetime warranty is over because we don't make that exact one anymore, or it's part of a kit and I don't have the whole kit. I only got the ratchet, that Quinn Ratchet. I did not get all the sockets, so I can't replace it. Just make people happy, and suddenly you start to realize that, in fact, there is a whole new market of tool buyers out there that have been stung here and there and are a little gun-shy maybe, but they can become loyal customers. So Snap-on, you know, figure out that middleman who's driving the truck, give him some training on being good to people. Harbor Freight, really watch that quality issue so we don't all have to, you know, lose digits with broken Pittsburgh tools before we finally realize that you sell better stuff. And then be real careful that you don't get yourself sued out of business by other companies because you're grabbing their designs. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but this is my story here, continuing what I ran into. And if you're still undecided about either like Snap-on or Icon, honestly, try them out because both of them have value. This one seems to last forever because you can always exchange it. Snap-on, the aftermarket, you seem to be able to sell the stuff at darn close to truck prices. Let me know your thoughts. I'm really curious about this because there'll probably be a part 3 to this. There's more going on, but in general, that's what I ran into. It was new to me. It was kind of shocking, but mostly it was reminiscent to the 1980s when Craftsman was ruling the world. And with that, Doc out.